Okay, at least I can say one good thing. Thank goodness the bye week is over because I kind of miss watching the Packers. But the only good thing that I got out of this week, other than studying for exams and stuff like that, is I got to watch Minnesota lose to the Detroit Lions. Oh, that was incredible. I'm sorry, Minnesota fans, if whoever watches this, but extremely happy for Detroit finally winning their first game of the season. And speaking of which, in today's and this week's Thursday Night Football matchup, both the opponents have not beat the Detroit Lions. So, yeah, that just sums up everything perfectly. The season, everything perfectly. Wow. We have another week to get on to, week 14. Holy crap. It's going to be coming down to the final stretch. On with the show.
Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, about now, about now, about now.
What is popping, y'all? It is your man, Cloudboy Bales, and welcome to another episode of Schedule Predictions for Week 14. Man, we've seen a heck of an NFL season, and this is the December month where we really start to know who's legit and who's just shit. That's the best way I can say it. But it's exciting, and I can't wait to see what happens in this final stretch. This is weird because this is the first time we've had a week 14 where teams are actually on bye. We still have teams on bye weeks going all the way into December, which is really weird because, when you have 18 weeks, instead of 17, that does change a lot of things. So that's interesting. So, anyways, a lot of great games, a lot of good matchups this week, especially. A lot of crazy things that happened this last week. But obviously, I was going to make a video, but I figured I'd rather get my studying done and focus on some other things for myself to try to get myself going. But obviously, Packers, they got to be ready for their final 5 games of the season as well as everybody else. So, it's exciting. 5 or 4 games, whatever they got. So, that's what's great. So, anyways, let's get to business. So, with Thursday Night Football, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Minnesota Vikings. The two teams that could not beat Detroit this year. Normally you sit there and you go, okay, this is actually a pretty good matchup. Okay? But Pittsburgh struggled this year, and Minnesota, honestly, at this point, Minnesota just is having the bad luck that they are. Their defense is so bad, but their offense is Super Bowl caliber. If the Vikings were actually winning games, Kirk Cousins would easily be the MVP, which is actually weird enough to think about. Pittsburgh, they won. They actually beat Baltimore because Baltimore tried to be a little sneaky and go for 2 to win the game, but it didn't work. And Pittsburgh held on and won. So that was an unbelievable win by Pittsburgh, first off. I don't really know what to say. Minnesota I think obviously this one has to really do with home field advantage. Because Minnesota is going to probably be heated about losing to a team like Detroit. They're at home. I just really don't. This is Big Ben's last year. I think they confirmed that. But it's really been hard to watch him do whatever he can because Big Ben just hasn't really done anything. Let's face it. So, I'm going to go with the home team, and I'm going to pick Minnesota. I'm not really believing Pittsburgh is a avoid the opponent for anything. I think Minnesota, this is a team that really kind of needs the playoffs. It's just they should get in the playoffs rather than these other scrub teams that are right now in the position for the 6 and 7 spot. But Minnesota, they need this win. I'm going to go with Minnesota. All right, Sunday matchups. By the way, I didn't say this before. The teams that are on bye are the Indianapolis Colts, the Miami Dolphins, the New England Patriots, and the Philadelphia Eagles, in case anybody was wondering. Those teams do not play this week. After that, no more bye weeks. It's officially football on lots of days, so it'll be great. So anyways, let's go on to Sunday. Baltimore at Cleveland. We just saw this matchup 2 weeks ago. Low scoring, nothing but defense. Lamar Jackson was throwing 4 interceptions, and they still won. This is different. You're playing in Cleveland. Cleveland, oh boy, Cleveland has just been awful this year. I mean, they're 6 and 6, which isn't that bad, but this is just a team that is really going to go nowhere at this point. Now, Baltimore, they're going to really struggle now too. Why? Because they just lost Marlon Humphrey for the year. That is a huge loss. Because looking at it, their secondary is just getting creamed by any opponent at this point. Yeah, their up front guys are pretty good, but everybody in the secondary, other than if Marlon Humphrey's gone, their secondary is pretty much open because I don't think they got anybody. I think if Cleveland wants to keep their season alive, I'm actually going to pick Cleveland to win this game. I really can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm picking Cleveland. I think they're going to win this one. I'm just not really believing Baltimore is shaping up to be the team that they are, and I'm going to have Cleveland win this. Just how I feel. Next up, Jacksonville Jaguars, Tennessee Titans. Well, Jacksonville really has no excuses. They got completely demolished at the Rams, and it didn't have to do anything with the weather because they were inside. Tennessee, let's be real. Tennessee is without Derrick Henry, Julio Jones, and A.J. Brown. That team can't do anything. I mean, it's not Tannehill's fault. They just have no talent offensively. Now, I think they're getting Julio Jones back, which is nice, but I don't know what else. Tennessee should beat Jacksonville because Jacksonville's just an awful team. But, I mean, I feel like Tennessee should win this game, and I believe they will, so I'm going to pick Tennessee. I think it should be an easy win at home for them. And I mean, they did lose to the Texans, I know, but who knows? I'm picking Tennessee. Las Vegas, Kansas City. Las Vegas, I think, is already on their decline. They lost to Washington. A game-winning field goal from a rookie. Come on, man. Las Vegas is already under decline. Kansas City still has a miserable offense, but all of a sudden their defense is just now playing good, so I really don't know what else to say. Kansas City, yeah, if they're at home, you should win this game. I'm going with Kansas City. You destroyed them the first time, so this really shouldn't be a shocker. Next up, New Orleans, New York. So Taysom Hill is now the starter. He has a little thing going on with one of his fingers that he suffered, but he said he's playing through it, so good for him. Well, at least they're playing the New York Jets. So New Orleans has just been pretty much miserable with loss after loss after loss. Taysom Hill hopefully can get them wins. I'm going to go with New Orleans. Okay, Dallas, Washington. Two teams that are like... Washington could be a huge sleeper team. This could be a team that actually could upset Dallas. I'm still going to go with Dallas, only because they have a fantastic offense. Their defense, not so good. Washington, yeah, their defense is supposed to be good, but something honestly woke them up, and Washington has won 4 straight. They're 6 and 6. Which was actually pretty insane. They could go for 5 straight here, but I think at this point I feel like Dallas wants a more staple wins, and I feel like Dallas can definitely use this win. All right, Atlanta, Carolina. Two teams that just are miserable and really just want to end their seasons already. I don't know how they're both 5 and 7. That just doesn't make any sense to me, but here we are. Um, Carolina won the first time these two teams met, and I feel like we could see some offense with Carolina, so yeah, I'm gonna go with Carolina. Just Atlanta's just has been miserable, and I just don't really see. I don't know. It's just really tough. It could go either way. I'm gonna go with Carolina. All right, next up, Seattle and Houston. So Seattle is 4-8, and this is the first season where Russell Wilson probably won't get into the playoffs, which is just sad to even think about. Now they're playing Houston, so Seattle is going to win this game because I don't know how you won't. Just saying, especially if Houston doesn't have any fans attending any games and the tickets are as low as $15. Really? So with that being said, I'm going to definitely go with Seattle winning this one. All right, next up, Detroit, Denver. Yeah, Detroit, congratulations, winning their first game. That was what a weekend for the Michigan sports in general. Michigan ended up winning the Big Ten title, and then you get Detroit winning their first game in 15 games. That's insane. Obviously, a lot of it was going to the stuff that happened, the shootings that happened at that high school. So, of course, my prayers go out to all their families, and it's just a sad thing that happened. So, of course, that's that. But it's good that Detroit is getting in the state of Michigan is getting all the wins that they can. So, that's a good weekend to be a Michigan sports fan, even though everything has just been so miserable for this point. But that's a great thing that Detroit finally has. On the road against Denver, I just don't see him winning this one, only because Denver's not even a good team. I mean, Detroit could win this one, but yeah, I'm going to go with Denver. I mean, I'm sorry, Detroit. But the fun stops here. Okay. New York, Los Angeles Chargers. Yeah, the Chargers should win. I mean, New York probably won't even have Mike Glennon either. They're going to go out a third string guy. Jeez. It's going to be very miserable of a game. In Los Angeles, yeah, they always leave me question marks. Every time I pick them, they lose, and every time I take the opposing team, they win. I don't know what to ever think about them. But this should be a win for Los Angeles. All right, San Francisco, Cincinnati. San Francisco is 6-6, but realistically, if they had everybody who's healthy, I think they'd win more games. Cincinnati is the more complex team that I could have ever thought of. This team just confuses the heck out of me. Are they good or are they bad? I don't even know. I don't think Cincinnati deserves to be in the playoffs because this is like the first year where things are starting to actually go their way. So I think, yeah, I'd hopefully wait another year. But being at home, I think Cincinnati can do a lot, and I feel like they'll win this one after completely blowing last week's game. So, yeah, that's that. All right, here's a great matchup. Buffalo, Tampa Bay. I think Buffalo is absolutely heated that they lost a game at home to the Patriots where Mac Jones only passed 2 out of 3 for 19 yards. They ran the ball. They didn't pass the ball. And the fact is they still lost. I think this one is really going to get to them. Very much. And even though it sucks that this is who they have to play, if this was another team, I'd say Buffalo. But they have to play in Tampa now. That's just miserable. So, with this being said, Tampa Bay just has not lost a home game this year, and I still don't see them losing a home game. So, I have to pick Tampa. I'm sorry, but Buffalo's going to be 7-6 if that happens, and that's going to be a lot of panic. I'm just saying. I mean, you don't really want to see that. All right. Sunday Night Football, Chicago Bears, Green Bay Packers. I'll always love the big rivalry games. Chicago has just struggled and struggled and struggled, and somehow Matt Nagy is still their coach. I have no idea how, but Of course, he should be fired at some point, and I'm hoping that happens sometime soon, but we'll see. But Green Bay in December, their record obviously is so unbelievable with Rodgers, and if Chicago's just struggling this year and Green Bay is just dominating this year, I'm hoping the best. I'm hoping Green Bay should win. I mean, there's nothing you could say. Don't know who's starting, Fields or Dalton, but I feel like the Packers should win this game, regardless. All right, next week. I'm sorry, not next week. Monday Night Football, Los Angeles Rams, Arizona Cardinals. Obviously, I'll be rooting for the Rams in this one because the Arizona has right now the first seed. We have the tiebreaker, so if they lose and we win, we have the tiebreaker, which is good enough to hear. Also, hopefully Tampa loses too because, they, I think, have the tiebreaker over us. So I don't know how this works, but Arizona, Los Angeles. I think Arizona won it the first time. Los Angeles has just been really struggling as of recently, and I think Arizona has been really playing great. So I think Arizona at home should win this game. That's just my predictions, but that's how I feel. So anyways, if you like what you saw, comment below, subscribe, do all that, and go Pack Go. So we'll see you next time.